Alrighty, so you're on this next slide where you need to create a graph, which it's already done for you, so we need to go in and edit it. Before we do so, let's make sure we know what a graph is. So a graph is just a very easy and picture-like way to share information more visually, and it makes it a little bit more appealing. So we need to create a graph that shows traits that describe ourselves. So if you're ready, you're going to click on the graph, somewhere to click on that circle. Let me get rid of this. Once I click on that circle in the top right corner, this little drop down arrow will be able to be clicked on, and you're going to click open source. Now when you click that, it's going to open a Google Doc or an Excel spreadsheet. Now it does take a minute for it to load. Here we go. So here's mine. Again, yours might take a minute to load. If you need to pause this video, you can. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and change this title. And in order to change it, I have to double click. And over here at the right is going to open up some customization. Now I want to edit the title. Now this is going to be a chart all about me. So maybe you just title it your name, or you might say all about Miss Adkins, all about Charlie, or you might just put your name. So I'm going to put Miss Adkins traits. These are traits about ourselves. So I'm going to put Miss Adkins traits, and maybe I want it to be a little bigger. Yeah, I don't want it to be that big because that makes it smaller. So we'll just do 25 and we'll leave it like that. So I can X out of that. And now what you need to be doing is think about 4 traits all about yourself. So 4 traits about yourself, or you can do more. You can continue adding more traits. I'm going to do 4. Now, while you're thinking about those 4 traits, I'm going to go in and think about which one describes me the most. So what you might do is you might just change each of these categories to 25. And when you do that, you'll notice your chart starting to change, or your graph. Your graph will start to change. So now each of the colors are going to be equivalent because I'm putting each of them in at 25. So each of these is a percentage of that circle. Whoops, that's a little too big. 25. There we go. So if you want to use 4 traits that equally describe you, you can. You might though get to this last one and say, yeah, this is a trait that describes me, but not so much. You might lower that number. But just so we get the gist. So now I'm going to go in and think of some traits that describe me. So if you were to go ask someone a word that described you, what would they say? Now, the first thing that I think people would say about me is that I'm positive. So whatever that word is, you're going to type it in there, and you should notice it change in your chart below, or your graph below. So positive, I'm a positive person. What's another trait that describes you? I know me, I feel like I am very loyal. I am kind. So you see, I'm just changing the teams to my traits. I'm positive, I'm loyal, I'm kind, and I am maybe hard working. Okay. So we can leave that if you feel like you are equally each of those traits, or you might, like I said, maybe I think I'm more positive than any of these. So most of the time I'm more positive. So maybe we'll put this one at 30, and we'll change I kind of want this one to be at 32. I don't know. I want them all to be the same. We'll leave this one at 25. So you can kind of go in here and play with the numbers. Just make sure that it does add up to 100. All right, so we've got that. So now when we go back, it should have updated for us. Let's see. Let's click this update button. Voila, and there is my graph all about Miss Adkins. So again, you could choose to use only 4, or you can add more. If you want to add more, you definitely can, but that is how you create a graph.